so let's talk about the RUGA settlement once and for all. What do you really make of it? I know many people are, particular about the ethnic thing and how could people, especially Fulanis, come from the north and come take our land. Now, my worry is I think something is going on somewhere that we're not being told. The government has the National Livestock Transformation Plan, which was approved by governors and the FEC also, I believe, and it's under the office of the Vice President. This plan was also approved to deal with header farmers clashes, and it's a livestock program for to take care of headers, provide them spaces with ranches and all the work. So my question is, we have the National Livestock Transformation Plan or policy, and then there's the RUGA settlement thing. And my question is, where did the idea of RUGA come from? Who approved it? Under whose office is it? So the office of the Vice President keeps insisting that they know nothing about RUGA settlements. It's not under their office. So I'm wondering, is this under the Ministry of Agriculture? And why do we have the RUGA settlement thing, which is very similar to the National Livestock Transformation Policy? I mean, and for the NLPT, like we're told, about 12 states have been selected for the pilot. This is because it was approved, so this is going to happen in every state anyway, right? This is going to happen in every state. So why do we have a duplication? What's the idea? What's the difference between the RUGA settlement and the National Livestock Transformation Policy? If there is no difference, then why is the government raising two issues? The office of the Vice President says it knows nothing about RUGA settlement. Then they should tell us what RUGA settlement is. Someone should tell us what it is. I know that the Garba did say on Twitter that this is about providing a place where people who rear animals, not just Fulanis, can stay. They have hospitals. It's like a full community thing. Now, do I subscribe to that idea? It's a different thing. I personally believe that ranching is a personal business. It's just like having a poultry or saying I'm going into fish farming. So it's a personal business, and I believe that these headers should come together in associations and go get loans from Bank of Industry or Bank of Agriculture and do their business. And I also think that very smart business people will see a good opportunity. I mean, there are people, investors, who could then build ranches. By the way, Obudu Ranch is the biggest ranch in Nigeria, and it's not a Fulani thing. So we know that many Fulanis had, headers, they raise cattle, but it is not just, a Fulani thing. And we spend about 1 billion naira annually importing milk in Nigeria. So we do need the cattle, we do need the beef, we do need the hide, we do need the milk. So what can we do? And we must remember also that many of these Fulanis who are bringing their cattle down south, I believe that they are also victims of the situation, because there is climate change. The Lake Chad has shrunk to just a quarter of what it used to be. There is no water. Everywhere is parched. You get the point? So they naturally would migrate to where the animals could feed. This is normal. It's the same way you migrate. I mean, down south here, many people like to migrate to Canada, for instance, to Europe. You want to go to those places because life will be better there. So that's the same thing they're doing. Now, should they be trampling on farms? Absolutely not. Because farmers are also business people who have invested in their farms, have toiled, and they're expecting returns. So you can't, because you want your business to thrive, ruin my business. Of course, that's going to cause trouble. So should the government be involved in this? Well, I'll say that the state governments can, maybe I don't know. Personally, I really just think that it's a business and you should find a way to run it. But because of the conflicts that we have had and the fact that I do not think that the Fulani headers fully understand the implications of what's going on, so they just want their cattle to, graze. So why don't you go back to the idea of ranches? Have these ranches set up by business people, or the government, in their local governments, get these farmers to come together in associations. I mean, that's just the way to go. At the local government levels, in their states, they do have governors. They have local governments. So let these local governments call them together, make them form associations, fill their forms, apply to the Bank of Industry or the Bank of Agriculture, or come together and look for investors who then build a ranch for them and they can put their cattle there. I think that's the only way to resolve this. But more importantly, I believe that the government has a question to answer. They need to tell us exactly what RUGA settlement is and why it is separate from the National Livestock Transformation Plan, which has been approved, and the pilot is already ongoing in 12 states. They have told us over and over that the RUGA settlement is different from the National Livestock Transformation Plan. Why is it different? Why are we duplicating the same idea? Why don't we focus on the National Livestock Transformation Policy or Plan? I'm tempted to think that the RUGA settlement idea is just a distraction. I'm so tempted to think so. I think it's a distraction so that people are not looking at the details of the National Livestock Transformation Plan. Do you know the details of the National Livestock Transformation Plan? You should know the details, and we should be asking the questions about that one, because actually I don't see what people are raking about it, because in truth the federal government cannot force states to give land, and they cannot forcefully take land to build ranches or settlements. It's impossible. So just stop it, okay? It's impossible for the federal government to do that. The important thing to focus on now is the details of the National Livestock Transformation Plan that has been approved and is under the office of the Vice President. We need to see the details. What are they planning to do? How much is being budgeted? How is it going to run? And then we sit with stakeholders and work out a plan as to how that will work. That's my take. What do you think?